Get back on that horse. Next time I find you live, you can bombard me with questions. I'm not Chinese. I'm just chillin' Chilean, living in the Chininas. Okay. Awesome. Did you learn scripting by yourself, or did you take classes for it? I learned it by myself. Um, yeah, it's kind of self-taught, but I did go to college for design, for theater and costume, or scenery was my primary emphasis, scenery and props, and then I did costumes as well. I don't do costumes anymore because that's my wife's specialty, and we do not like to cross the streams, so to say. Even though she is trained in scenery and as well as I am, we rely on each other's expertises, but we are both capable of doing them. But yeah, so as far as the sculpting goes, I didn't take a sculpting class until my second year of graduate school, and that was because I had to. Is this clay a firm one? The way it broke off, and it seems... yes and no. It's actually the medium blend, which I prefer to work with, but when it's in its extruded state, which is what's in the block there, it's cold, and it's not... it's straight out of the factory, so it crumbles, but then when you actually get to using it, it's fairly thin, so medium, yeah. So no, I learned the sculpting on my own. Somebody asked me to make some stuff, and I started making stuff, and kind of the rest is history. And it's all self-taught. I've got some really bad habits that I work hard to try and break, which is the self-taught bad habits. But I'm probably almost 20 years into sculpting. So one, habits are hard to break, but two, you practice that much of anything, you get fairly decent at it. But I take a very practical approach to sculpting, sculpt what I see, not what I think I see, that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm old. I'm no spring chicken. I'm more like a fall rooster, I guess. I don't know. Moisturizers, kids. Moisturizers. Gotta keep this looking good. I am 46 years old. Yeah. Wise. I don't know about that. A lot of useless information, but I don't know about wise. So. Yep, don't forget your skincare, kids. Teach my kid that yesterday. So my oldest, he shaves about once every 3 weeks. He's very much got the shaggy look going on. And so yesterday he shaved, and he's like, my skin is burning. I'm like, moisturizer, son. You've got to moisturize your skin. I went to the last reunion I went to was like my 10 or 15 year. And I'm at almost to my 30. No, that can't be right. Fork. Almost my 30-year reunion. Okay, so I went like 15 was the last time I went to. And everybody there looked so damn old. D&D made me make the distinction between intelligence and wisdom. Book smart versus street smart. And that's how I think of it. I have both. I would like to think so. I used to be made fun of when I was a kid because I was very book smart, but not very street smart. So then I took to the streets to learn the way of the smarts. Yeah, no, I definitely do that. But anyways, yeah. So skincare, kids, always use lotion. But everybody at my reunion looked about 60, 20 years ago. And I'm like, I'm also one of the palest people you'll meet. I mean, you can look at my arms. I am distinctly pale. I'm a basement dweller. I don't care much for being out in the sun. I never have. So my in-laws, before they moved, had a pool, and we would go there, and I would probably swim about 3 times a year, but with a lot of sunscreen. But I'm not a huge, like, I love being outside, but only in like fall. Like I love the fall seasons. Or spring. I'm just not a go bake myself in the sun type of person. Whereas my brother, He's like, I'm gonna go sit out at the pool for 5 or 6 hours. I'm like, I don't like being hot, so no, it's not gonna work. If you lotion your face, do you do the same to your neck and chest? And so they look the same. Correct. Yes. But sadly, for ladies, your neck ages how it ages. So even though my wife, who also moisturizes daily, that's her. She's like, God, I hate it, my neck. I'm like, you look great. And she's like, no, it's starting to get old lady chicken neck. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, you're still beautiful. She confounded me today because she was talking to me, and I'm like, you're not. I'm like, how are you putting? Why are you're not wearing a bra, woman? She's like, my bra is tied. It's in my shirt. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, it's just part of the shirt. I'm like, okay, confused Pikachu face, but the waddle. That's right. I did not know that was a thing now, but apparently yes. And I'm like, and that's what you're going to the management meeting in? No. Women's clothes have a special way of confusing men. Want to fold the laundry? I do fold the laundry. Thank you very much. I have. My wife has only like 3 outfits that confound me, and it's all one piece of clothing that is twisted to create a dress, sundress type thing, but it's like a wrap type thing. And I'm like, okay, this one's on you, but I don't mind folding the rest of it. I like knots, so hang it when in doubt. No, don't hang it. Oh shit, you want to piss off my wife? Hang her clothes up. Oh my god. Like I'm a dude. I don't own a lot of shirts besides t-shirts. I mean, it's what I wear because what I work in every day is going to destroy anything nice. So I wear a lot of t-shirts because I know I'm going to wreck them, and I don't care about t-shirts. I like a good flannel, and I wear a t-shirt. I have nice clothes for when I need to look nice, but it's not something that I wear often. Knitted sweaters, t-shirts, anything that's got a knit to it. She doesn't like it hung because it stretches it out, and then she gets, as she calls them, hanger nipples, and she does not like hanger nipples. And so yeah, no, she folds a lot of her clothes, unless they come with special like hanger straps, which is fine. But no, they. So like I hang all my t-shirts. I don't fold my t-shirts up because I don't want them to be wrinkled. But yeah, no, her entire closet is filled with clothes. But anything that is, yeah, most things are folded, not hung up. You do not have any chest. You have no bones, sir. We need to give you bones. We had a debate one day about something to do with queens, and asked your wife for you asked your wife for input. Can't remember if it was hair or clothing. Probably both, but most likely clothing. So we started watching, or continued watching the last comic laughing, or last one laughing, the Canadian version of it last night. Because we were talking about it yesterday, and then we were also talking about the actress who was on that, who then was also on the Flight Attendant season 2, and I was like, oh, okay, let's watch that. So yeah, so we were watching that last night. It was actually pretty funny. It's got Colin Mockery on it, and who I think is hilarious from Whose Line and whatnot. And yeah, it was really good. Jay Boucherel, he's kind of annoying, but as the host, but whatever. I know we were talking about that show yesterday here on the stream too. But today I was driving my son to school, and we were talking about his mom going to that meeting and how she's not necessarily she's not managing. She doesn't like to talk to people. She doesn't want to be on stream or anything like that. It's just not her thing. It's not how she likes to live her life, which is perfectly fair. I said, but I spend all day, every day, talking to myself, talking to everybody. He's like, that's a really weird way of putting that, Dad. I'm like, well, I'm in a room by myself, talking out loud to people on the internet, but if it's not a really super active chat, I'm literally talking to myself to fill the void, just so that hopefully something sparks a conversation. He's like, well, I guess that makes sense. He goes, that sounds horrible, Dad. I'm like, well, it's not for everyone. That's for sure. Is this a diorama? A commission? Yes, it is a commission. Everything I do is commissions. That's right, just like Nebraska. Yeah, everything I do is commissions based. I don't do art for me or for collecting or anything like that. Everything I do is because somebody has asked for it. That's why I say I'm Santa Claus for nerds. Santa doesn't make shit for himself. He just makes the random things people want. Yeah, so it's literally I'll make anything, and I've gotten weird requests and whatnot. But yep, I can make. If you can think it, I can make it. Even if it's just like a vague idea that you've got, you're like, oh, I really like this property. I like, and I'd love to have a big one was turning people's avatars that they've created in games or whatever into like sculptures, so that they can have a personalized version, like a toy of themselves from the game that they're playing. So they're like, I worked really hard to look like this, like your WoW character or whatnot. And so I do a lot of that. I do a lot of wedding cake toppers too, but they're all personalized. So like that one that I just finished, I can show it to you because I don't think you guys saw it before I put it away. So like this one we finished yesterday painting it. This is a Tim Burton style cake topper. So we made the people look like they are drawn in the style, or sculpted in the style of Tim Burton, but it's actually the two people getting married. And so this is their cake topper. And so they pick the pose, they send me pictures of themselves, they send me the outfits, and then they're like, okay, can you make it look like Tim Burton drew it? And I'm like, yep, no problem. So a lot of these kind of things, so personalize it. Thank you, Karen. But I also do like prop replicas and that kind of stuff. That's what this vial in the background is. This is a prop replica from the movie Death Becomes Her. See if I can get it far enough away you can see the whole thing. Nope, just gotta move the camera up, Paul. So, but it's a vial that is real gold. And this is a resin, but it does open. It is a actual perfume vial. And then we have the egg that goes with it. There's a box that goes with this and stuff. Yeah, so Death Becomes Her from the movie. Long time ago, galaxy far, far away. But it stands on its end like it does in the movie. So it's supposed to, that's supposed to be the thing. It's magic and it stands on end. So. And then we had completed, I already shipped it out, but this is another thing that we do. So this is from the movie Princess Diaries. There's a lock that goes on here too that I make, but this is like a replica of the Princess Diaries, but it's actually a journal. I don't have this one completed, it's an extra one, but it has like journal inserts. And so these are removable inserts. And so I make a cover and it's got these little like dust jacket thingies so you can insert these into it and it becomes a permanent book. And it's got the magic lock on it that you have to use the necklace to open, just like in the movie. But these are leather, pressed leather, so I make these as well. Yeah, anything and everything. Woodworking, 3D printing, design, fabrication. All of those fun things. It just really depends on what people want. I've made so many different things that sometimes they'll come up on like my memories or whatever on social media, and I'm like, I don't even remember making that. Apparently I did. Nice. I need to get more stuff onto the social media, but I did post the sculpture, the Tim Burton topper, on the Reddit, and which is why I don't put anything on Reddit, because I'll put things on there and I'll get no upvotes, like none. I think the most I've ever had has been like 14. Like, oh, okay. And same thing with my social media posts. I put it on Instagram yesterday. I think I've got 30 upvotes. Not that I need it for reassurance. I mean, people keep buying stuff, so I'm not overly concerned with it. But I know I need to get better at my social media game, but then there's like no reward for doing all the extra work. Just little floaty cat hairs everywhere. Now, it looks like this dude's wearing jeans, so we're going to give him the jeans treatment here. She was not wearing jeans. She was wearing camo pants. So. Can you guys hear my dog snoring in the background? Yeah, yes, Paul, and also your music. We can hear your music. Ollie. Yep. It's a lot colder down here than it is upstairs, so he likes to hang out with me during the day. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll put the seams in for jeans. Let's double check, make sure we're happy with what the legs look like. Is there a dog bed? Yes, yes. I can show you too. There he is, crashed out. Yes, I have a doggo down here. Yes. Yeah, he hangs out with me. All right. So that doesn't look bad. Okay, so now we're going to do the seam on the jeans. That's not how that works, Paul. There you go, like that. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. And then we'll add the jean texture on here as well in a minute. One of these days I'll get one of those dual knives that you can. It's got a little dial between it that you can open them up, and they'll like open up to whatever thickness you want, so you can do like, scribe lines perfectly. Think about the other day, I was watching, I think, Chris sculpt, and I was like, yeah, he really needs, because he was drawing lines like this. I'm like, yeah, he really needs that tool. I'm like, you need that tool, Paul. All right, somebody give me something to talk about. Somebody tell me something cool that they did, learned, saw, destroyed. I don't know. Something. Give me something. It's quiet. It's too quiet. I'm running out of things to talk about. It's my favorite snack. There are these, I shouldn't eat them, but I do like them a lot, and I'll search them out. It's these, the F word is the human bark. You're correct. Hello, I'm back from working. Woohoo! What else do I have? What did I miss? No, then my favorite snack is these very berry gummy worms, which are effing delicious. Not regular gummy worms. No, it's just the very berry sour squigglers by Trolley, I think. They are delicious. Not delicious for you, but delicious to eat, nonetheless. So. You missed silence. That's right. Paul's just begging for people to talk to him. Please be my friend. Oh, big stretch. Trolley worms, yes, they're delicious. All right, so now for Jeans. Jeans work at a diagonal. Okay, so we're going to take him off the horse for a second here. I know it's not a horse. So when you're doing jean texture, you want to work at a diagonal, because the way that denim works is your main line is on a diagonal from the edge. And you don't want to do a cross hatch on it, okay? You just want to do the diagonal. It's going to show up a lot better in the paint job if you do just the diagonal. Okay. And we want to do the same thing on the other side. And just really lightly. You don't need to put a lot of texture into jeans. It'll show up in the paint job. Same thing here. Am I on camera? Not really. Do you have a favorite commission that you've worked on? Oof. Yeah, I get that question a lot. It's rare that I have a favorite piece. It's more that I usually have a piece that I really liked, a process part of it. There's been some, like there are characters that I like a lot. I did a Tom Nook that I really liked because I was really into Animal Crossing at the time, back when the pandemic started. I've done some I love Edward Scissorhands, so I've done some like chibi Edward Scissorhands pieces, which I thought turned out really cute. That kind of stuff. I mean, like occasionally I'll finish a piece and be like, okay, this one actually turned out so well that I think that, this would be a piece that I would keep if it wasn't already a commission, that kind of thing. Rarely is it, oh yeah, that piece is the best piece I've ever done. But there's a lot of processes I like to learn. And so that helps, keep the monotony. 'Cause, I mean, how many times can you sculpt a Calcifer ring box or a Beauty and the Beast rose or whatever? It's like, what ways can I make it different? That kind of thing. When I'm working on something, I find that I have to either be chewing gum or eating candy. Yeah, I'm trying not to eat anything. That's I started keeping aquariums again, trying live plants. I have a koi beta. He was expensive. Yeah, I think fish would be destroyed by my cats, so I can't do that. So my middle kid is doing book reports, and his teacher's like, okay, so at the beginning of this last quarter, she said, I want all of you to read 10 books and do 10 book reports. And I'm like, that's a tall order for fourth graders. Yeah, I know it's a good lid, but I got cats who get into things. I'd have to have locks on the lids. Yeah, they are. Yeah, 10 book reports for 10 kids, and they had to be different genres of books. So one was like what do they call that? Like a realistic mystery or autobiography or a biography. There had to be one that was a instruction manual, one that was informative, one that was a nonfiction, one that was fiction. All of these things. So they got about 2/3 the way through the quarter, and the teacher had noticed that not a lot of people. That's 10 years old, yes. Not a lot of the kids had gotten them done because, well, they're 10 and they don't want to read 10 books. Now, I did when I was that age, but I was a nerd. So, and I still am. But, like, my son had gotten 3 done. Let's do a book report on an instruction manual. Well, it's because what it is the book reports are you're writing a letter to the teacher. So it's Dear Mrs. Blank. And then she has these questions that you have to fill out. And so he has to answer those questions. It's like, what I learned on this was, what the author's point was, is this. And so you have to do like this checklist of questions. Anyways, so she noticed that no one was turning it in. And so she said that if you do a really good report on a book, she'll count it as 2. And so they have it to 5, but they got to do a really good writing assignment. And so my son is like, okay, I can do that. And so he started reading these books and whatever, and he's doing these reports, and he got 3 of them to count as doubles. So that's 6 books plus the 2 he had already done. So he's at 8. And so he had turned in 1 more, and he's like, I'm done. And it came back with only counting as 1 because the report wasn't that good. And he was so pissed off. It's like, I can't believe it didn't count as 2. Now I got to do another book. I'm like, that was just because nobody was doing it. Pick really small books? No, they have to be a minimum amount of pages. It's crazy. Like, his instruction manual was the Pokemon book that shows like a list of all the different Pokemon that you can get. And so he's had to read the entire book, like in all their things. And it's just basically to teach your kids to read is what you're trying to do, But like, so how many pages? Like at least 100 pages. Just make it up. That's possible. Yeah, so he's struggling with that, but he was so mad that he didn't get double points on this last one. How to make kids hate reading? Nah, I think it helps. I really do think it helps. I just think she had unrealistic expectations. 10 books is a lot for, especially like, I read to my kids every night, so they have Time Machine, but that might be too much for a 10-year-old. No, he's got his books picked out because they had to go and pick them all out at the top of the quarter because these, pick your 10 books, and these are the 10 books they picked. And so his biography was the biography of R.L. Stine, but it was written for kids. So it was like a Goosebumps book, but then he also read a Goosebumps book. And the book's name is Some Book You've Never Heard of, and here's what it's about. Okay, that's, I think 10 books is too much. Yeah, it's a steep amount. And then the one class nerd turned in his 10 book report early, and he got a prize for it. Yeah, so, but he's done Hardy Boys books. He's read, which are like almost 200 pages. He's read a Goosebumps book, Pokemon book. He had to do a poetry book, so he read Falling Up by Shel Silverstein. He had to do the manual, which was the Pokemon book. Trying to think of some of the other ones that he's read. Oh, it's I Survived the Falling of the Twin Towers was his realistic nonfiction or something like that. I failed that class. Been really sad. Yeah. Now the problem is realistic fiction. No, it wasn't fiction. It was a true story. So I don't think it was fiction. So it's nonfiction, I think is what it was. So yeah. Well, it was either that or I Survived. There was some other one. I was like, no, that's okay. So I said rent one of those. Yeah. Um, but no, I mean, it's good for him to read these books, and he reads them to my mom. He would read them to us, but my mom like really acts engaged. I know she's not. She's doing other things, but he calls her on. He FaceTimes her every day, and then like calls and. She's like, "Oh, are we looking forward to reading today?" And she really keeps him honest and on board and stuff like that. So, but the character's not real. Ah, I got you, Gigi. Okay, so maybe that's what it is. What is the one where the guy goes off into the Alaskan wilderness? Isn't there a school bus shelter? Yeah, let's not read that one. Into the Wild. They had to remove that bus because 3 other people had died trying to get to it. Into the Wild. Yeah. What a dumb. Just dumb. Yeah. They had to lift it out by helicopter. That's crazy. I'm trying to chug my coffee so I can go get more because I got to go to the bathroom. But I would need to put this in the oven, and so I'm trying to do all those things at once while we have a little chat. But I'm proud of him for getting this stuff done. My favorite is 1984 that I read in school. My oldest son has just finished reading Romeo and Juliet, and then they had to do a report on the difference between love and lust. I'm like, he's 15. 5 more will die trying to find it. Exactly. Like if I had my kids read a manual, I would have them do the thing the manual is explaining, like build something based on the manual. He plays Pokemon like crazy. And so that's why he chose the Pokemon book because he's got, is it Pokemon Go where you take the photos of it? He's got that one, but then he also has the one where you have to go. I think it's not Sword and Shield. It's Red or Gold or one of those. He just got them for the Switch, and so he's going through and he watches these YouTubers who do these challenges when they're gaming, and so it so they're like, okay, so we're gonna do it, and you can only use your starter character, and if your starter character dies, then you have to start the game over, that kind of thing. So he does a lot of those, and so he's really into that. So the Pokemon book was fine. It can't be like for a piece of furniture. It's got to be a certain amount of pages. So it can have pictures. They can be picture books. I think one of the things they read was Amulet, which is he had to read a graphic novel. That was one of them. I'm like, okay, well, you like graphic novels. There's nothing wrong. It's all pictures. But it couldn't be a book you've read before. And my kids' bookshelf, I could take the camera with me and show you my kids' bookshelf. I've read over 100 books to my kids. Like, we read all the time. Like, since my oldest was 4 years old, I have read every night. So, video report of building IKEA furniture. There you go. I know, but either explain to the class how to play or build something that was explained in the manual. Yeah, that'd be cool, but he just has to explain it to his teacher. So, anyways, all right. I'm going to see. This is a good conversation. We're having a good conversation here. I'm going to go get more coffee. We're going to put this in the oven. Then we'll get back to working on the other figure in a moment. So I'll do a quick BRB, and yeah, I'll be right back. Now that would be practical. Exactly. I'll be right back. She's actually a really good. There we go. She's actually a really good teacher. My older son had her. She's actually a really good teacher, and I know it sounds like it's too much work for the kids, but no, it's actually really decent. So, do something more hands-on, like the manual. I get them to build something with me. Yeah, no, it's not a bad idea, but okay. Did my music end? It did. All right. Let's do this one. All right. Uh-oh, did I freeze? Oh, no, I didn't. Maybe I'll have them make a YouTube video presentation like they're a YouTuber. That's cool. That would be cool. My son would love that. What other kinds? Okay, so the list was a fiction, a mystery, a graphic novel, a manual, a biography, poem, realistic fiction, I don't remember the rest of them. I don't remember the rest of them. I can look it up. Let me look it up real quick. Wait, who texted me? Okay. Family. Trying to find her name. Oh, is she not messaging me through this one? I gotta see if I can remember her name. Gildis. There it is. Ten-book challenge. Here we go. All right. Our fourth grade class will be participating in a 10-book challenge this quarter. The 10-book challenge is a great way to get readers interested in and exposed to a variety of genres. The challenge consists of reading the following: 2 realistic fictions, 1 fantasy, 1 historical fiction, 2 mystery, 1 informational, 1 biography or autobiography, 1 poetry, and 1 graphic novel. The book that students select to read for the challenge must be a new read. They cannot use books that they have already read. This helps to encourage students to read new books. It must also be a book that they read independently, but not too easy that it doesn't help them grow as a reader. We have been doing reading conferences so students can really understand what is a good fit book for them. Good fit books are books that students can read independently with limited errors. After students have read the book, they will be asked to do a book response. This is a written response that has the students thinking about what they read, how the author wrote the book, and what thoughts and feelings they had while reading. Oftentimes, young readers need encouragement to keep reading, read books outside their comfort zone, and help finding a good fit books for them. This is a fun opportunity for students to challenge themselves as readers and writers while also discovering new interests. Here are some ways that you can help your child. Encourage them to read each day at home. Take them to the library. Read books aloud together. Discuss what they've read and how it connects to their lives. Ask them questions about how the challenge is going and what you can do to support them. Happy reading. So there you go. No, it's not a book report. It is a book response. It is basically... they're not reading, because what they don't want is you to be like, I read Falling Up. It is a book about poems. There are 27 poems, like, ... It was basically you're writing a letter to the teacher answering some questions, is how it actually comes out. So, yes. So it's, Dear teacher, I finished this book, and in it blah, blah, blah. That's how it is. Somebody is parked outside my house. I do not know who it is, but my dog does not like it. Chat got stressed about the project. Yeah, you should talk to my kid. My favorite is encourage your child by asking them how far they've gotten. You're like, oh, bug them to get it done? Yeah, my kid loves that. Hey, Drez, how's the book report coming? Quit asking me about it. Hey, Buck, how's it going, man? Again, this is Bacon Bond. Not even our kid. And we're all up in arms. Yeah. Like, ooh, ah. Oh, gross. Paul, you just bacon bonded your coffee. Ah, fork and beans. Coffee's also open, kids. I am now wearing said coffee. It's hot. That's so hot. Remember when Paris Hilton was trying to trademark the term hot? Like an idiot. I spill coffee everywhere. Great googly moogly. Not even our kid. There you go. All right. God. Okay. This microphone. Show some skin there, Paul. I have to put a sticker on the back of it. It is poking me. Coffee's for the homies. That's right. Sorry about messing with the mic there, guys. I just need to put because it is poking me to no end there. I like how this shirt makes it look like I got really big moobs. It's lovely. Okay. There we go. When you eat things up, they get hot. Exactly. Thanks, Vex. The whole point of me putting the brush over there was so that I could clean it off, and I didn't even clean it off. Actually, let's oh, fun fact about random cars sitting outside my house. For like a year or so, I'd see a random car parked outside my house and no one ever get out. Tinted windows and all, sit there for 30 minutes or so. And back in March, April, a house up the street was raided. I now know that those cars were sitting there. They were watching the house. My friend, it's a funny story, because a good friend of mine, he noticed, or he was out for a walk with his wife, and he noticed that there were these weird boxes attached to the phone poles, like the electrical poles and stuff, like the phone line and stuff. They were these weird, they looked kind of like birdhouses, but they had lenses, like tinted glass on it. And they were surveillance cameras for the FBI who were doing, there was a known house of ill repute that was up the street from them. And yeah, they eventually got raided multiple times. But yeah, he's like, oh, interesting. So he's taking pictures of them and sending them to me. So he's outside taking pictures of the boxes that are taking pictures of the neighbors. And then he got a visit one day from said authorities. Like, yeah. Eventually, it was a meth house. It was a meth distribution location. And eventually the house caught on fire and burned down, as meth homes tend to do. It's not a meth house, it's a meth home, as they're prone to do. So. Most likely drugs be what they would most likely be rated for if they're doing a sting operation. But I live in a very, very quiet neighborhood. So to see cars parked outside, especially right in front of my house, because I live on a corner, so it's not like they're parking for the neighbors. They, like I'm the only house here. I forget, can you guys have guns in Canada? Or are you guys, you have no bear arms? You have like actual bear arms, but you have no right to bear arms. Unless they're real bears. Nobody's here. Just me. I dropped something. No. For real. That bears, that's what I'm saying. Bears with arms, yeah. We can, but people just get rifles for. Ooh, I just got really dizzy. Ooh, ha 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 ha. I think it's time to bust out some almonds or some beef jerky. I think Paul needs to eat something more than the shake he had for breakfast. I'd eat almond-crusted beef jerky. What the hell do you need a semi-assault rifle for? Or a full assault rifle? You don't. There's no need for one. That doesn't stop my friend from having 6 of them. I think they're semi, they can't be full. But I'm like, what the hell are you shooting with that? Oh, I'm just shooting for fun. There's no need to own one of those. None. Don't get me wrong, I like a pew-pew too, but, M&M's with obstacles. I'm trying to eat better, Buck. M&M's are not better. I mean, they are better, but they're not better for you. Trying to be less fat Paul and more, less fat Paul. I got fresh jerky from Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's? Oh, Buc-ee's. It was good, but $30 a pound, 3 sticks was $11. Wow. What my daughter called trail mix when she was little. Oh, really? She called it M&M with obstacles? That's hilarious. That's awesome, though. That's awesome. I don't know, Mooncloud. Look at the Ukraine. They're doing all right. Paul, that lady's got some lopsided boobs. Breasticles. I just love how the Ukraine is like reenacting the original 80s movie Red Dawn against Russia. Like they got kids with like frisbee with razor blades on the outside. They're using homemade drones. It's crazy, but they're like, nah, fuck this. You may have tanks. And then the farmers are taking the tanks away and stuff like that. There's a movie, it's called Red Dawn, and it's from the 80s. Don't look at the recent one with Chris Hemsworth. That's not, no. The original Red Dawn, Patrick Swayze, Jennifer Grey, okay? Yeah, Red Dawn. And it's about how Russia, in the middle of the night, raids America, and this band of, like, teenagers start using, like, homemade, like, weapons and stuff like that to take on this group. It is the best Red Dawn, yes. Don't watch the new one. The new one is horrible. It was supposed to be... Who was it? China, and then there was a diplomatic issue with that, and so then they went in and they CGI'd it to be North Korea. But it's a horrible script, horrible movie. The remake was not good, but the original is classic. And because of that movie, Jennifer Grey did not want to work with Patrick Swayze on Dirty Dancing because she thought he was a bit of an a-hole during Red Dawn. But they were just coming off of the Outsiders? No. With all the kids, Swayze, Macchio, Cruz, yeah, and the sequel Red Dawn Redemption. I don't remember that one, but Wolverines, exactly, right? Is it the Outsiders? I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Outsiders. Okay, yeah, but. Yeah, because of that, she didn't want to work with them, and they had to convince her, and then, the rest is history type thing. No, that is a good book, or a good movie. I read that book. It's been a while. Maybe I should see the movie. Never did. Outsiders or Red Dawn? I might have to look at my front. Oh, no, that's the timer. Okay, I'm like, oh, somebody's here. Nope, timer. All right, let me check my front cams to see if somebody's actually getting in and out of that car. Oh no, the cleaning lady's here, and she parks in the middle of my driveway. I'm like, don't park in the middle of the fucking driveway. Park on the side. But like, who dat? I don't know who that is. But that's my cleaning lady. That's my yard filled with dandelions. Look at that. They're coming up so well this year. All right, let me grab him out of the oven. Maybe she doesn't want to walk on the grass. I don't give a shit. You should see my yard. My yard looks like shit. I'm trying to cultivate a natural lawn, not a cultivated lawn. Fork that's hot. Really need to oil that hinge. Time to mow some leaves up. Yeah. I hate when random people bark. Yeah. Oh no, she brings stuff in. I mean, I know she's got reasons, but it's still. The dog is like, "What the fuck you doing? Why you got to be on my lawn?" It's okay. It's just Terry. You know her. She good. Oh, you smell that beef jerky. You're like, dude, did you open that beef jerky? And you did not give me no beef jerky? You are the a-hole. I should have had my kid do a book report on Am I the A-holes? I've been reading a lot of Reddit, Am I the A-hole? And this is my report. Mrs. Geldis, a lot of men are a-holes. The kids that ran down the street set off fireworks in the road out front. It was hitting cars and everything. In America, we call that the weekend. And around July, we call that every day. Yeah. It's almost bitch to your neighbors about fireworks season. So, yeah, but before that, just brothers, random people. It was from a time when we had a lot of theft happening in the area. It's not a bad area of town or anything. Just puts me and the missus on edge. We're in the corner of the street. Ah, gotcha. I understand Oh yeah, fireworks are not illegal here, and they keep making them more and more legal because the person, especially in Nebraska, because the person who owns the fireworks stands is on the board of directors or council or something like that, and so they have worked the system so that only they can distribute them during specific times, of course, because monopolies and stuff. But this Bellino, for those of you who know, Canadian being all shocked by fireworks, really illegal here too. Nobody cares. Yeah. Around here, money talks, bullshit walks. Okay. The neighbors down the street came out and started yelling, and I thought they were going to be in a fist fight. Canadians getting sorry. Were they like throwing punches and saying sorry at the same time? Sorry, I just punched you in the face. Oh, you'll be sorry. Sorry. It gets me because you can just drive over to the next county and get them and come back over. Yeah, we drive down to Missouri to buy all the big fireworks, and then right before the 4th of July, the state patrol will sit on the border and just pull over everybody and search their cars. I'm like, no, you got to go get them like in March. Let me hold the door for you. Sorry. What's this all about? Yeah. We're not making fun of Canadian. Well, I mean, we are making fun of Canadians. We're making fun of Canadian stereotypes, but it's done out of love and jest. Love for our northern neighbors. So from our point of view, Trudeau is like a really decent guy, but from all the Canadians on Reddit, y'all hate that dude. What's your opinion on Trudeau? Canada is our fancy hat that covers our mullet. Absolutely. So you can't see us ogling our sisters, I guess. I don't know. It's not like shopping in South Dakota, asking for a friend. Yeah. Oh, is that what you guys think? Okay, that's fair. That's okay. Currently, we have Father Time who can't remember the time, so we're good. I will agree with you on that one. We won't get into a ton of politics. I was just really curious about your take on that guy because I keep seeing, what we see in the news and stuff are the loudest voices, and just because they're the loudest voices doesn't mean they're the strongest. Oh, is that what it was? Okay. I love that you refer to him as a Ken doll. He does have good hair, and that beard. No, it's messed up everywhere. It is. That's okay. We've got a lot going for us. We've got the 1950s, 30s, 40s. I mean, what's really cool is we're in the middle of the 2020s and we're living like it's the 1920s. So. Woof. She's going to walk in the house any second. You're going to go barking upstairs. I can't give you anything. I don't have anything for you, bud. It's clay. I'm just messing with clay. I know you smell it, and you're like, dude, I know you got some. I need to put medicine on your nose. Your nose needs medicine. Yeah. Who's here? Who's here? Who's that? You don't care. I'm proud of that one. All right, I'll give you one piece, but then you got to leave me alone, okay? Like, you give me one piece, I'll never leave you alone, boss. There you go. Ooh, peppered. Cool, did you taste that at all? guys see them? All gone. Like a blackjack dealer. All gone. All right. Okay, there we go. And we're back. Can we agree that jostling other world leaders aside so he can be in front for a photo op? I think that's embarrassing for anybody. Mine does too, Gigi.